How's it going, everyone? Mr. Google here, and yeah, I haven't really been doing any reviews lately, but I've been bored, and I'm just doing audio reviews now, just for today. I'm gonna do video reviews next time, but probably starting March, because the rest of the month doesn't look good. Like, I'm gonna see Snitch with Dwayne Johnson and Susan Sarandon. Like, are they gonna have sex? No. So I'm not gonna see it. And, I'm not gonna see Dark Skies. I'm not going to pay to see that. Like, really? Not doing it. So, today I'm going to review for you guys Warm Bodies, Side Effects, and a movie I just saw a couple days ago, Escape from Planet Earth. So, let's get into the reviews. Get the fuck out of here, Richard Gere! So, Warm Bodies. I was actually really looking forward to Warm Bodies. It's directed by Jonathan Levine, who's directed The Whackness and 50/50, two absolutely fantastic films. I know a lot of people haven't seen The Whackness. You need to see that. Josh Peck is fantastic in that. Olivia Thirlby, Ben Kingsley, Method Man, Famke Janssen. I'm Bob Dylan, gotta review Warm Bodies. Yeah, see The Whackness, and 50/50, for those of you who know me, that was my favorite film of 2011. I absolutely adore that movie. But does Warm Bodies, live up to the anticipation I builded? Oh, man, I'm really rusty. Did it live up to the hype that I built up for it? Yes, it did. It absolutely did. But I personally wouldn't really compare it to The Whackness or 50/50 because those movies are very different, obviously. But I don't know. It's not as great as those movies, but it is very great. It's a very great movie. I personally love the hell out of this thing. I thought it was a lot of fun. Jonathan Levine really is a great director. The cinematography is fantastic. He really knows how to work with a cast very well. He gets a lot of great performances here, especially out of Nicholas Hoult. Teresa Palmer's pretty good. Rob Corddry's hilarious. And John Malkovich is pretty good. I honestly think he's like a master of tone. Like, doing like a zombie rom-com, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, and I think Jonathan Levine really succeeded at that. And, he really has proven that he's a master of tone. Like I said, The Whackness is a very great movie. It's a coming-of-age movie. It's like a John Hughes movie and a comedy, and it's like druggies, and alright, but 50/50, man, I am incredibly rusty, I apologize. But anyway, I suck. Warm Bodies was just a hell of a lot of fun. I really don't have many problems with it at all. I don't know. I really don't know. There was a couple things, like, I do think in the latter half of the film, it does get a little generic and a little predictable, but I was expecting that, because, I did like these characters. Teresa Palmer was a little, she was good, but, like, I didn't really think her character was all that well written at all, because she has this whole grudge against her dad, played by John Malkovich, and it's really underdeveloped. Like, John Malkovich just wants to protect her, and then Teresa Palmer's like, oh, what are you gonna do, Dad? Build up a whole, blockade of, like, Satan. I suck. I really suck. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think the writing in this film is fantastic by Jonathan Levine, especially when he puts us into the mind of a zombie. I thought it was really cool. Like, I've talked to some people who disagree with me about this, and they're stupid, and you suck. I'm talking to you, Noel. That, like, when the zombies eat the brains, they actually get the thoughts of, like, the human that they just ate, and I thought that was awesome. I thought that was really clever writing, and I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with this film. So, like I said, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Steven Soderbergh gives us his final film, apparently? I don't know. With Side Effects, which stars Rooney Mara, Jude Law, Channing Tatum, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and New York Film Academy Award nominee from this year, Ann Dowd, who has a little role in this. And, Steven Soderbergh, I'm a big fan of the guy. I like a lot of his movies. I think Traffic's a really great movie. I really like Out of Sight. I really liked, what else did I like from him? I don't know, Ocean's 11 was really good. The Informant was decent. I thought Haywire was pretty forgettable, but I thought I had a fun time with that movie from what I remember. And Magic Mike, it was okay. It was bland to me. That movie was really saved by its performances mostly. But Side Effects, this is a very good film. I'm not falling in love with this movie as much as everyone else has, but I do think it's a hell of a good film, especially for the month of February to come out. This and Warm Bodies are by far the two best films I've seen all year, and really this movie is like boosted up by its performances and its direction and its cinematography. The cinematography is gorgeous in this film, and I really like how Steven Soderbergh shoots his movies. Oh my god, I forgot. I loved Contagion. That was the movie I was blanking on. Contagion was great. I loved Contagion. I probably like that a little bit more than Side Effects, but still, moving on. Steven Soderbergh directs this movie with, like, a lot of awesome tension. It's like the tension is pretty damn palpable. And going to these performances, Jude Law is really great. He gives a very subtle performance, but his performance is like a tea kettle. And he starts out, a little, he's good. And then as the movie goes on, he's like, yeah, it's a really terrible impression of a tea kettle. I apologize. But, you got Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's very good. Channing Tatum was probably the weakest in the cast, but then again, he really didn't have much to do. And then, of course, you get an amazing performance out of Rooney Mara, who is just as good as she was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which won her a New York Film Academy Award a couple years ago. And, wow, she was phenomenal. Phenomenal in this film. Really had the most difficult performance in my opinion. And by the last like 30-40 minutes of the film, it's just such a great performance, and it's just a shame that this movie came out in February, because the Academy is probably not even going to recognize this movie and recognize her performance. If there was anything I had wrong with it, the movie definitely starts out really, really slow. And it's like, can you move on? Please. And I thought the twists in the movie, there's a couple twists that I caught, at least it was me, but it was just probably me, but I don't know, I thought those were a little bit underdeveloped, and I would have liked that to be a little bit more developed, and the ending was a tiny bit unsatisfying, but overall I would give this movie definitely a 8.5. Sorry I was cut off. You're being an asshole, Windows Movie Maker, okay? I would give Side Effects an 8.5 out of 10. But going on to Escape from Planet Earth. Earth, going to Earth. Gonna have a good time at Earth. Except you're not if you're watching this movie, because it's not that I hated this movie. It's just that I can't really remember it. Because I was actually looking forward to it. I thought it looked like a cool kids movie. I liked the visuals in the trailer, and the voice cast was very appealing to me. I mean, you had a lot of cool people in this movie. Rob Corddry, Craig Robinson, Brandon Fraser. Where the hell has he been? Seriously, where the hell has Brandon Fraser been? I mean, like, he did that clap at, like, the Golden Globes, and then he, like, disappeared. So, whatever. And then you got William Shatner, and George Lopez, and then Jane Lynch, and then Sofia Vergara, and Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah, this cast went from awesome to just, grody. What? Okay, but Escape from Planet Earth was such a forgettable little animated movie. And here's the thing that I like about this movie. Like, the one humongous thing that I really liked about this movie was the visuals. The visuals in this film, the animation is gorgeous. It's great to look at. It is so great to look at. And another positive I had is that a couple voice performances in this movie that were pretty entertaining to listen to. Brandon Fraser definitely does a really great job in this movie. I thought he really had tons of energy. I wasn't the biggest fan of his character, but I still thought that he gave a really, entertaining voice performance. And Craig Robinson, he's basically like the Eddie Murphy stand-in, but I thought, I love Craig Robinson. I love him in Hot Tub Time Machine, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, Knocked Up, The Office, of course. But, he's pretty good for what he has. There's a couple lines of his that were just okay. And then you have William Shatner, who's sort of unrecognizable at times, but maybe it's just the voice department just fucking with William Shatner's voice, which you shouldn't do because he talks like this, but not in this movie at all. He doesn't talk like that at all. But, whether or not it was William Shatner or not, I kind of like the guy who voiced that character, even though that character was incredibly thin and it was just really not that well written at all. The main problem I had with the movie was just how short it was and how just bland the script was. And this movie, like, it's about aliens going to our planet, and they never explore that. The only thing that's explored is, like, Area 51 and 7-Eleven. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if you're on Earth, you're gonna go everywhere. Especially in a kid's movie, you have to make it an adventure movie. This is, I think, like, on IMDb, it's, like, called, like, a kid's animation adventure film. And it's not an adventure film at all, because the movie's, like, 80 minutes long, and there's, like, no conflict. I mean, in the middle of this movie, you have Jessica Alba. Oh yeah, Jessica Alba's in this movie. Thanks a lot, Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba is like, has this relationship with William Shatner. Yeah, I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling Escape from Planet Earth because you're definitely gonna go out and see it. Shut up! Alright? Because, yeah, Jessica Alba was gonna turn on her planet, and then William Shatner, he's like deceiving her and whatever, and that conflict is like barely dealt with at all. It's just like, there was, like, Area 51 was like barely a threat at all, and I know it's a kids movie, I'm looking way too into it, but, you know, we've seen tons of other kids' animated movies that are just much more deeper and just much more well written, and this just frustrates me. Alright? And the movie was way too short. And going on to the humor of the film, I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled a few times, and I laughed out loud probably twice. And I was the only one laughing in the theater for those both times. But as soon as a character farts, of course, there's these obnoxious kids sitting next to me going, "Ah! Shut up! You suck!" Being a bunch of Richard Geres in the audience. You just go shove a hamster up your ass. Why don't you? It's like, shut up! Seriously. 4.5 out of 10 for Escape from Planet Earth. I know it's like a rant on this movie, but I didn't hate it. It's nothing I'm really going to remember, so why would I hate on something I wouldn't remember? Like, I remember movies like Men in Black 3 and This Means More and Skyline. I hate those, but 4.5 out of 10. See ya.